Hey everyone, and welcome. We're diving into something super interesting today. You've probably heard about meditation for stress, but what about something physical? Like, can it actually lower your blood pressure? Well, we're going to take a scientific look at a study that did just that. Right? It's the big question. We all hear about meditation for, clearing your head and helping with focus, but can it have a real, measurable impact on our physical health? I'm talking about that key marker, blood pressure, and that is exactly what we are here to explore. Okay, so before we jump into the actual study, let's just set the scene for a sec. We all know high blood pressure is a really widespread health concern. It's a well-known risk factor for some pretty serious stuff. So, yeah, finding ways to manage it is, well, it's absolutely crucial. So, how do you even figure out if something like meditation can make a real difference? Well, we're not going to just sit here and talk theory. We're going to look at a fascinating case study that put meditation to the test in a really high stress, real world job. And the group they focused on? Get this, Swedish train drivers. Now, I know what you might be thinking. That sounds kind of random, right? But stick with me, because there's actually a super compelling reason they were the perfect people for this experiment. So, why train drivers? Well, think about it. It's a pretty high-stress gig. You've got irregular working hours, you're dealing with frequent night shifts. That whole combination creates a really demanding environment. And that kind of constant stress, it can really put your body's systems on high alert, which can definitely contribute to higher blood pressure over time. So they were the perfect group to see if a stress-reducing practice could have a real physical effect. All right, so we've got our group of high-stress train drivers. The next question is obvious. What did the researchers actually have them do? And, more importantly, did it work? Let's dig into what they found after 6 months. The specific method they used was a practice called Acem Meditation. And it's important to know, this isn't just about, trying to relax. It's a very specific, structured technique. It involves mentally repeating a certain sound, but in a really relaxed, non-judgmental way. Kind of just letting your thoughts come and go without getting caught up in them. And you know what? The results were pretty amazing. After just 6 months of practicing this Acem meditation, the train drivers showed a significant drop in their blood pressure. And that's not all. On top of that, they also reported feeling fewer of those common stress symptoms in their day-to-day lives. That's a huge deal. So let's just break that down. The bottom line here is a 1-2 punch. You got a measurable physical change. Their blood pressure actually went down. And you've got them feeling better, reporting less stress. So it's a win on the hard data front, and it's a win on the how do you actually feel front. Pretty cool. Okay, a positive result in one study is awesome, for sure. But what does this really mean in the bigger picture? Why do these small changes matter so much? Let's talk about the power of what we call lifestyle intervention. This quote from the research itself really hits the nail on the head. It says, even small positive changes in blood pressure can have a major impact on public health. And that's the thing, right? We're not always looking for some magic pill. The whole point is that even small, steady improvements, just like the ones they saw in this study, can add up to make a huge difference across the board. And really, that's the key takeaway here. What this all shows is just how important it is to prove that these kinds of lifestyle changes can actually work. Things we can actively learn and weave into our daily routines, they can be an incredibly powerful tool for managing our own health. So think about it. We started this whole thing with a pretty specific question, right? Meditation and blood pressure. But it leaves us with a much bigger, more exciting question to ponder. If a simple practice like this can have such a positive effect, what else could we unlock for our health with these kinds of lifestyle changes? It really makes you think. Thanks so much for joining me for this one.